is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, class swing traders. Hope you guys are doing fantastic. I hope you are flying as high as the SPY right now at open. I see you guys piling in. We got Al up bright and early, ready to start the week. Good morning to you. We got Albert. Good morning. Brian, Julie. Good morning. We got JT, Lauren's in the house. Martina, Micus. Good morning to you. We got Paul in the house. We got Randy, Rock. Rock, you off? Are you off today? You kind of here a little bit early. We got Ryan in the house. Good morning to you as well. All my peeps piling in. Good morning. We got all my YouTube land blowing up. Good morning, Daniel. We got M Sky in the house. Good morning to Craig, Rem. Whew. All the fine folks of YouTube land. Even the Larker sitting in the background, not saying nothing. That's okay. I still love you. Hit that like and subscribe button. Let's see what the market got in store for us today. Every day it's an adventure, but this one, we got some uncharted territory. We got some new all-time highs. We got a good close on Friday and a nice little gap up today. So optimism is still good. I did review the beige book over the weekend because I'm a nerd and that's what I like to do. So just deal with it. But you guys like, I'm watching the playoffs. I'm like, nah, I'm reading the beige book. There was a little bit of a concern in the beige book, to be honest. This seemed like there was some slowing labor growth, labor wage growth, and we do have credit cards at all-time highs. So we got some companies look like they were kind of scaling back a little bit. I think right now the narratives is still like, okay, we get lower work wage. We get some pressure. We don't have to just be paying everybody double what we make in profits every single year. Yeah, I think long term that's good for the narrative for the or not long term, but short term is good for the narrative for the Fed to lower the rates. But overall, that can get a little rough. But right now, follow the trends. Right now, the market's still taking all news as good news in terms of just we got to get those Fed to come out and start to lower the rates, and we'll see what happens from there. Right now, everything is just screaming bullish. Be careful buying here. Even if we do remain bullish, I'm not sure. Maybe we open today. There's a big bearish engulfing candle. I don't know. I don't think so. But obviously, this could look way different by the end of today. Who knows? I'm not even on that camp. I still want to try to continue to buy dips realistically, but who knows? I mean, that could change sentiment a little bit. Either way, I do think this is a retest gap. We got really good volume. Again, if anybody bought the SPY at any point on this gap up, that person is waking up with some money today. They could have been the last top tick of Friday. And you're like, okay, I'll take my gains. So again, I think everything still remains bullish, but I think a little bit of sell-off, maybe to like 482.29 would be a decent little pullback. So that's what I'm looking for. Obviously, I mean, I could scroll out as much as I want. There's no new sets of support resistance. I guess we have supports on the way down, but there's no resistance on the way up. Let's take a look at the Qs. Same thing, massive move. I think SMCI got a 35% gain on Friday. I mean, one day alone. I think after hours that one's still or over the weekend at least. Pre-market now jumping it even further, but we got the Qs. Same thing, fresh all-time highs at open with a gap up. So again, I'm just going to be cautious of buying at the open. We do have, I mean, technically 4 green days in a row. I wouldn't even count that first one. So I'll go three days in a row and more volume piling in each and every day. So it seems like the higher we go, the more the FOMO trade seems to want to catch up. But again, see if we get a little pullback first and then looking for some kind of positions to, at least on a day trade, to continue to buy. It is a tough time in life to buy for the long term. I'll tell you that much. There is still some names kind of beaten up though, but TLT, we even having a little gap up on TLT. This one technically a retest from Friday, but Friday was kind of just that inside day, so I would go a little gap and go on this one. Targets on TLT for me, at least first target probably comes into like 95.38. One after that, 95.49, and if we could breach that level, of like 95.50. We're looking for another 95 cents higher, so 96.45. So we do have some room to go. This is a decent pullback so far, and let's see if we get maybe a little bit of selling, but I want to see TLT stay bullish. See if we can support this rally a little bit. We got Lauren saying Netflix. Netflix. Mm, nice little gap and go. They have earnings, yeah, coming up. Was it tomorrow after the bell? Pretty decent volume on Friday. Nice looking hammer. We are gapping above it. I should be looking at some kind of support, maybe around 484.92. Targets could be a little concerning, especially with earnings tomorrow. But if everybody is bullish everything, that would look decent. I think a stretch target for us. Well, my stretch target's probably here for 495.06. That could give us about $9 to the higher side. This one really hasn't been retested. 492.25 would probably be my target for today, but we could definitely scoot Netflix up high on the list. It's a good hammer, good location. And I'll be willing to try that one. Again, maybe a little tiny pullback at open, something. It doesn't have to be a massive pullback. But also, if the rest of the market is going to pull back a little bit, we might get a decent pullback into really the spot I want to see is somewhere around 444.92. After that, maybe we come back down to like 481.92. And the only real thing I'm concerned about, otherwise the chart looks good. But the only other real concern I have is what is earnings going to do tomorrow, and how does people want to set their positions up for earnings after the bell. So we still have the entire today for that to happen, when we have all day tomorrow for that to happen too. So I'd give it a try though. I think Netflix looks decent. Definitely some good room in it. XPE, EXPE, Expedia Group. This one's still inside day from Friday. That takes away a little bit of edge. Definitely a good. We at least had some bullish sentiment with this wick. So somewhere it got all the way down to the lows. The bulls came in. They were able to push it up a little bit. So that does tell me there's a little bit of sentiment. If we could get a break out of Friday's high, then we have new higher lows. We're still putting in lower highs though as well. So I think longer term, this is a little bit choppy, right? So there's a little bit of a downtrend. Don't don't screenshot those lines because they look awful. But somewhere in that zone, so probably would take us to I see my first little VPOC level there, and maybe on a good day we come up there. I think the top one would be a very, very stretch goal. 153.13. Who knows in these markets, but 153.13 would be a stretch. And then I think we start to hit some kind of resistance around this 150.72 though, and that's if we can get through this little support. So just still inside day, really, really good hammer. I mean, if you want to try it on a swing trade, I think that could make sense, right? On which I would just pretty much play Friday's candle 150.12 as my entry, and then stop down here 145.26. I think if this hammer starts to break, we do have some decent levels to support us, but I think that's losing a lot of that sentiment of what should hold. So yeah, it's not bad for a day trade, at least out of the gate. Probably some better options, just because we don't once something's inside day, we do lose a little bit of edge. All right, we got Tesla. Tesla. Mora and Tesla. All right. We got Tesla. It was actually gapping up a little stronger pre-market. So that's starting to come back down. Or there's still some weakness in Tesla. We got the entire market screaming to new highs, and Tesla just cannot catch a break. Wednesday we do have earnings on Tesla though, so maybe we get some kind of turnaround story, or it goes to the graveyard. One of them. Definitely going to be highly anticipated for the earnings though. Uh, yeah, still same thing. So still inside day. There is still weakness in this thing, and we got earnings in 2 days. And I think there's some probably big concerns. These are some decent levels to try to hold. I don't like how this last VPOC was actually even lower than this one. And I still have a few levels that really never got retested down here, all the way down to like 198.19. So we technically have a little bit of room to go, and this thing is a straight waterfall down since we broke pretty much these levels up here. This 233, we just kept on sinking. So we almost need a good story, good earnings, probably. That's probably where that has to come. Morgan Stanley cuts price target on Tesla. That's not going to help. They cut it down to 345, which still gives us about $130 higher. So even though it did come down a little bit, I think more than anything, people are concerned about the margins on Teslas. So earnings report's gonna be huge. If they could still hold their gains even with smaller margin because they're selling higher volume, I think that's what the investors or the stock market is going to want to see on Tesla to really right the ship here. Otherwise, if their volume is down, the amount of cars they sold, and you're also dipping on margins, I think you're going to see a lot more pain on Tesla. Probably some deeper pullbacks, but for day trade purpose, it's just kind of inside, just hanging out for now. Did see Mars, so let me see that one. Mara, nice little hammer on Friday after lots of selling. So far, though, we're not really able to break out of this hammer. Still inside day, and we're below the opening and closing price on Mara for Friday. So the one thing I'll give Mara, and I think we got to look at Bitcoin to see if this thing wants to get any type of rally. But the one thing I will give it is right now we're opening at a really good support. So hopefully that could hang in, and then this hammer could play out, and we can at least retest a little bit. But without the help of Bitcoin, Mars is going to be in a struggle bus. And crypto wasn't really moving that crazy over the weekend. Essentially kind of flat. All right, we got Nvidia gapping up to it was above 600, I think, at one point. Let's see. Started to roll down a little bit, I think. What was that? What was the high on this one? Looks like we hit like 605. Okay. The crazy thing about Nvidia is like 2 weeks ago, we were sitting at 476. So it took us about 2 weeks to get another $124. Obviously, all-time highs. I got zero levels in terms of targets, so probably at least two if you could get it. I'd be going for at least two hours on my Nvidia trades. If I'm taking any Nvidia trade, it's probably got to be because I think 2 hours is possible. I got no resistance above us, and I'm going to take some risk if I'm buying Nvidia up here. So I want my risk reward to be worth it. I don't really want the 1.2s. I don't want a 1-to-1 risk reward. I think I'd be shooting myself in the foot. So if I think I could get it, and which it should have good range on it. Same thing as the rest of the market, though. Gapping up to all-time highs. See if we get a little pullback. Do I really want to short this beast? Probably not. I don't know. But I wouldn't mind attempting a fade on Nvidia out of the gate. Let's see if we have any good pre-market levels, though. I don't even. This is going to be such a tough fade because if it goes down $1, everybody's like, it's cheaper. I want to buy it now. You waited literally for the all-time high. It's got really good momentum. Everything bullish. There's our last little pivot. That was the retest into it. There was the break. There's the retest there. Fundamentally, we're still sitting pretty decent on this this bullish trend, still above most moving averages. Yeah, I don't even know if I want to fade it. but I would look for maybe a little bit of a pullback. Maybe down back into this like 589.99 zone. I think is probably going to be out buy spot. And again, if we could get down there, then yeah, that's probably a good short we can make some money on. But I'm looking at 597.46. This is going to be a pretty strong support. Probably somewhere around this 598.99 zone. Pretty strong support as well. I'd want to see this thing start breaking down or give me some kind of head and shoulders or something I can really play off of. The only thing I really got right now is we do have a high volume candle right here. And so maybe if I wanted to take a stab at this thing, and it's going to be tough, but I'd probably go bearish here somewhere. At least I got some volume. Even this one feels like a wide spread on it too. Oops. So something like this would be my stop. I'm not even sure I can make this trade work with just so take the break down there. 2 R's is probably somewhere in this general zone. And that would be me having to get again, this is a rough 2 R target. It's not exactly 2 R's. Might be a little bit higher. I'd have to get below yesterday's VPOC for that to work. It's very, very tough. Just in terms of volume, 595 should be decent. And then I think, again, much stronger volume, 590, 57, somewhere in that area. So I don't know. But pullbacks, I'd still be interested in pullbacks to just go long on it, I guess. All right, we got Fastly. Go to the weekly. News. Citigroup upgrades Fastly to neutral from sell. So okay, they get a little bit of an upgrade. Weekly chart does look nice. I would want to see some kind of a pullback off a weekly basis. The full on retest is like $18.79. I don't know if we get all the way back down there. It's not. I mean, it's not too far considering it's almost $20 stock. It's not that is a pretty big move. But we are breaking above this weekly pivot. This would be higher lows. This looks good. I do think this is probably a buy the dip. Probably targets into like this 2301. So there's some money to be made on this trade too. This could be this could be a potential give me a red high wave out of the gate scenario to take a break on potentially. I think I like Netflix a little bit better because this is also a pretty big gap pre-market as well. But yeah, give me some kind of pullback on this one. Otherwise, it does look good, especially on the weekly chart. All right. Swing, that's what you're thinking. Beautiful. Baba. Baba may take out that bullish candle from Friday. Ruh-roh. I mean, we did hit a pretty nice trade on Baba on Friday. Got a solid 3 R. The crazy the way it moved was strange. It was very weird. It did nothing for a while, and then I think I walked away from the computer for like I don't know 15 minutes, and then within like 1 or 2 candles, as I was not there, it just started jumping. I even attempted to move my stops. I was like, I just came back. I was looking at the chart. I was like, all right, let me get my stops up to break even at least, and we'll see what happens from there. And then I go into the broker to make a change. I was like, I don't have the shares anymore. So it just ran up, hit the 3R target. So worked out decent. But yeah, there's a nice bullish engulfing candle. Everything looked good. And it does look like it's about to get a little bit more weaker. We'll see. From a pure standpoint of risk to reward, this is not horrible. Obviously, if you're throwing your stop 66.90, that point, I think you're just a little bit dunzo on the trade. If this thing comes down, I think this probably easy flip. To the bullish side, 68.18. So I don't know if I really want to go bullish on this thing because it's not going to be that much. But if you have a tight stop, which could get us, and then again, maybe we get 2 R's up into there. So we could probably design a trade to work just on risk reward purpose. Otherwise, the chart does still look kind of weak. You are gapping down, and that's a major candle with that volume. And I think even with that volume, keep in mind where all the bulls were buying. Most of it was all throughout that candle, and we're trapping a lot of new people right here at the open as well. So it might be enough to bring this thing down a little bit further. So watch for that for the short, I think, if it does want to come down. Otherwise, if you are bullish on Baba, at least you got a good spot where you can throw your stop at. Spotify looks very interesting. I believe this one's usually spready, if I'm not mistaken. At least pre-market, we got about $1 stop. Really good candle though. Probably the top of this wick is where we see the next resistance. That's 209.85. We get about $3.20 higher until we get to that spot, and then obviously if we do break through, that would look decent. Really good hammer came in here. Good follow up. Still inside. So this is a gap and go Friday, but Friday's candle was still inside of here. So I think we get a little bit of hesitation. Yeah, I would look for the for that Thursday high is kind of my target. And then we're almost smack in the middle of this. We do have two VPOCs giving us some support, 204.93. And see if this one wants to act as almost a retest. See if it, I would say if this thing pulls back to like 205, look for like that 205 zone on some kind of a pullback. And then if you want to try it bullish, we could stop on a swing trade at least, I think would be underneath this inverse hammer. So $200.44. But I'll move this one higher. Day trading, it is a little tougher because it does get spready to some extent. Come on, TraderView. There you go. All right, let's see what else we got. We got PayPal for Scott, PYPL. Finally got a break on PayPal. Good gap up as well. Into the gap fill zone. Woo. I think this one has more room to go. I think long term has got a lot more room to go. I think we started to finally get some of that bullish action, bullish eyes on PayPal. Square's been kind of dominating PayPal in terms of the ranges that it's been having. And now I think PayPal maybe starting to catch up. But again, bullish case, I mean, we might see this. I don't know, maybe there's a stretch goal for today, but 73.31. Only because we're in that gap. We're probably looking to fill that one. The level before that, 71. So let's call it 72. We got some room. This would be one, too, if we could get some kind of selling at open, because this is a pure retest. And some kind of selling would be terrific. Get some profits for some of those people out of the way. I'm not sure how far I'd want to see this thing come back. So if this really the retest is 65.87. That also kind of matches up with the top peak here, but I think even if we get into like the 66.84 zone, that would be a decent support as well. A good attempt for a retrace and then try to move higher from there. But I think a lot of eyeballs are on that gap fill right here. So I would remain bullish on it. A lot of these things is kind of like just have some patience, have some patience at open. See if we get a pullback anywhere, and then try to play it from there. Arm looks good. 3 strong candles in a row. This is also a little bit of a retest. This one might get some good continuation on it. Price target 75 from 65 keeps over. This is why I can't trust any of these upgrades. Like if you're gonna upgrade from 65 to 75, you're already at $78, $79. So what is your like where was that upgrade when you're down at $48, down at $50? it's much easier for these people who are upgrading to wait for these stocks to already start pushing bullish. Everybody's already bullish, and then you go, yeah, okay, we'll join the bullish train. It's because they keep their jobs longer. That's essentially it. But like down here, everybody's all weak on this thing. Nobody likes it. You wait for this thing to run, then you start getting some of those upgrades in. And a lot of times, there's already people so profitable on these things already into the upgrades. It makes it tough. That being said, really good gap. I got to scoot it up on the list. I don't trust that upgrade whatsoever. I don't like it. Maybe longer term, if there's a pullback, okay, fine. But this is all time high, and then the upgrade is less money than we're currently at. But they have 100% analyst records, so they must know what they're talking about. Yeah, true. I'm gonna. This is an official statement, everybody. I will be upgrading Microsoft officially for me. I just upgraded Microsoft to $350. So price bump. Wall Street, give me some cash on my analysis. I gotta love it. You gotta love it. All right, we got Sun, SUN. Sunoco. Let's see. Energy stocks advance pre-bell. Wall Street's to open up higher. Energy sector. I don't know what the exact news is on Sun, but it is a pretty interesting looking stock currently with this gap down. So it's completely doing something absolutely different than the rest of the market. Let me see ExxonMobil real quick if it's doing anything different than there as well. ExxonMobil kind of opening flat down slightly, so Sun is different than that one as well. Interesting. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what the news is on this one. I missed it. But so far, good double top. This is a retest, so probably not bearish right at open. My targets to the downside would take me to about 55.01. My targets to the higher side for resistance, somewhere around 56.82. So you kind of smack in the middle of both of that. I would see if you could actually get some buying off this news. I'm not sure how far it's going to run, but my first stop would be 56.88. So that would be my first spot to maybe look short. And then probably looking short if I can get it, probably about 58.18 would be a much better spot. I don't know if we come in for the full on retest here. This is pretty weak gap. We're pretty strong kind of gap and go, taking out those three big candles. So we will see. But I don't think I was short right at open. See if you get some buying come in and then look for that flip, I think, a little bit later. All right. We got Baidu short. And there was the opening bell. It happens too quick. Too quick. ADBE. Lots of buying yesterday. This one's spready too, I believe, so just keep that in mind. Did I just switch over to Baidu? I'm so confused. I was like, my chargers changed completely. That's kind of wild, but yeah, Baidu looks pretty short still. Eventually, there's going to be a spot where people come in and go, okay, this is just, it doesn't even matter if China starts to invade Taiwan. Some of these prices are just too cheap, but I don't know if we're there yet. So does looks like a stock to look to see where he goes short. Otherwise, everybody out there, YouTube land, if you guys have not already done so, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. And you guys are incredible.